I believe you might be slowing down your sales accidentally based off of how you're pricing your items. And it's not that you might be like bad at pricing. It could very well just be that the pricing strategy that you're using isn't serving your item well, causing it to not sell quickly or at all. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I price my items to sell quickly, how I use sell-through rate to influence my pricing, and share why I think some of these common pricing strategies aren't the best for your items. So let's just jump straight into some of the biggest pricing mistakes that I see. And this is stuff that I have done starting out. Price buckets. It helps quicken pricing out each individual item you're putting on your store by just lumping them all in different price buckets like $24.99, $29.99, $34.99, so on and so forth. I used to do that as well. However, I realized that I was running the risk of overvaluing some items by putting them in one price bucket because the other price bucket was too cheap. And it did a disservice for that item because it made my item one of the most expensive ones on the market. And my competition was pricing it cheaper than me. So my item sat around a lot longer than my competition, purely because I was just trying to take shortcuts and quicken the process of pricing. And the flip side goes for when you don't know what you have and maybe you put your item in a too cheap of a price bucket accidentally and you missed out on potential profit because you ended up undervaluing that item. So you got that quick sale, but you didn't capitalize on all the profit you could have made on it. Pricing buckets might work in some categories, but for me as a pre-owned clothing seller, there is way too much influencing the value of an item based off of size, color, the condition, the brand, everything that comes with it. So that's why I like to individually price out my items versus lumping them all together in a bucket. Another mistake that I made in the beginning was I was pricing whatever the highest comp was. My line of reason for that was it sold at that price one time, it can sell at that price again, which it could because it did sell at that price. However, what I didn't see behind that sold comp was that it may have took that item years to sell at that price point. For me, I don't want to wait years for an item to sell. One tool that I use frequently whenever I want to see potentially how long an item took to sell is the eBay Watch Count website. You just plug in the item ID into their search for sold comps and it will let you know about how long it took for that item to sell once it was listed. This has been a huge eye-opener to some of those high ticket dollar sold comps that you might come across to see actually how long it took to sell at that price. In the beginning, whenever I was trying to determine the value of my item, I was looking at sold comps and I call it like ping pong pricing, where comps are just kind of all over the place. This item may have sold for $60 one time, $50 the next, $25 the next, $100 the next. And it's just kind of all over the place. So I had a really hard time reading those numbers to determine what's the actual value of this item that I can maximize my profits while still keeping a relatively quick sale. And I'll get into how I solved for that later on in the video. Another pricing mistake that I made in the beginning was pricing my items higher than what they were worth to accommodate for offers, which it kind of makes sense where you price your item a little bit higher, a buyer comes around, sends you in the offer that you were actually wanting to sell it for, and you end up getting the price that you wanted for that item in the end. However, in practice, you are actually not competing against your competitors at that point. You're competing against yourself and other people who are also pricing their item higher than what the market is saying it's worth. Because while other people are pricing their items maybe at $40 and you price your item at $60, you may not even get a click or a time of day to begin with, let alone an offer coming around for $40. What helped me with the offer game was I would price the item at what the value was of that item, understanding that I could potentially receive an offer for less. And I just had to pick like an offer percentage range that I was willing to take so that I could get that money today versus potentially waiting much longer to get the full price. So if I priced that item at $40 and I got an offer in for $35 or $30, then I was able to give myself the option, do I want to make $30 today or hold out for $40 for who knows how much longer? And if you've been around on my channel, I like money right now. But I understand, like I'm not gonna go super duper cheap just because I get money today. There is some preference and nuance of how long you're willing to wait for an item, how much it's worth, how much you spent in it. So it's not black and white, but just know that if you are pricing over the market value, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot with that because you're not actually competing with anyone. You are just out of the bubble and just hoping for a chance that buyers click on your item and send you in an offer. And I don't like running a business based off of hope. I like to just price it for what it is right now and get to it.
A lot of banks are happy to hold your business's money in one big account and charge you a monthly fee just to do it. Relay is different because they understand that your finances are more than just a lump sum number. Your money has different jobs. With Relay, you can open up to 20 accounts, so you can separate your money based on what it's actually meant for. You can have an account for everyday expenses, for your business taxes, or even your business savings. This is just one of the reasons why Relay is the official banking platform for Profit First professionals. They are built to help you follow the Profit First method. Relay gives business owners more than just a bank account. They have smart financial tools that help you plan ahead, stay organized, and make confident business decisions. No minimum requirements and no surprise charges. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link down below to sign up for Relay today. Thank you, Relay, for sponsoring this video.
And then lastly, the other pricing mistake that I had made was pricing at peak market value versus today's market value. The market doesn't care what the item sold for last season in the height of winter when you're working in the middle of summer right now. So as pre-owned clothing sellers, we do have those fluctuations of seasonal changes to our advantage and disadvantage. I personally will list all year round. I've sold ski jackets and snow pants during the summer, and I've sold swim trunks during the winter. Of course, the demand does decrease when you are selling off season, but what helps me keep these items moving quickly even throughout the off season is that I'm pricing them on today's market value and not what they were last year or what I'm hoping they'll be for this coming up season. I just want to know what it's worth today, which brings me into how I actually price my inventory. So as I said earlier, I don't like running my business based off of hope, and I surely do not like running my business based off of just guessing. When I run my business, I want to be intentional behind the decisions that I make. The same goes for my pricing. I want to be intentional with it and not just guess the value. When I became intentional with my pricing, I started to realize that my sales were quickening and I was making more profit, but I was also developing a skill where I was able to determine an item's value efficiently, effectively, and consistently. Doing this built confidence that I knew what I was doing and I was putting my items up for the best price possible, which allowed me to also become very competitive with my pricing. So let's now jump into exactly my step-by-step process on how I price my items. First out the gate, you know that I value sell-through rate over here, and I've had wonderful results doing so. So the process is going to be the same. We're going to whittle down our search results over on eBay to get the most accurate search results possible, just like you would when you're checking the sell-through rate of an item. And if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend you go check that out because it will help make this portion make a little bit more sense. Once I've gathered all the search results that resemble the item I'm trying to price, my next step is to then check that sell-through rate. And remember, size and color do in fact matter when it comes to the supply and demand of an item. Once I know what the item's sell-through rate is, then I'm going to sort my sold comps from high to low. This is going to help prevent that ping pong pricing that I was talking about earlier, where the comps just kind of seem all over the place. It does factor the shipping cost as well, so keep that in mind with free shipping or international $30 shipping. But sorting the comps from high to low helps give me a much clearer picture of what's actually happening. From here, it's a great opportunity to see if maybe you don't have like a special limited edition unique piece compared to the rest, because typically those unique pieces are going to be priced much higher. So it's a great way to just catch in case maybe you need to be pricing up higher just because you got something that's different. But if we're working with something that's more common and not unique in any way, then what I want to do is start looking for a common price point. I want to see what it's commonly selling for on repeat over and over and over and over. This signals to me that the buyers are commonly okay with purchasing this item at that price point. And that gives me the baseline of what basically the going rate is for this item. Now, this is where sell-through rate comes in handy and can give you that competitive edge. When you were checking the item sell-through rate, if you found that your item sell-through rate was in fact very, very low, meaning 25% or under, then I would highly encourage you to start looking at what that common price point is and below. Occasionally, I will put lower sell-through rate items on my store, but only if they have a higher selling price point. That way I can drop the price down to where I would essentially be the next one out the door if a buyer came around to buy it. So I would walk away with a quicker sale and the profit that I still want to make on that item. I don't recommend doing this for items that barely have any profit margin on them. I would only reserve this for if you're either stuck with a lot of slow moving items and you have to get your money back, or if you find an item that you can drop that price down and make it sell quicker and still make good profit on it. If you notice that your sell-through rate was pretty average, sitting around 50%, then this is where I would recommend just pricing it at that common price point, whatever it's consistently selling at. However, if you notice that your item has a significantly high sell-through rate, meaning close to 100% or more, just meaning as soon as you put it up, people are looking at it and they want it, then I would personally start looking at what that common price point is to maybe even above. Because typically in the world of economics, when there is little supply compared to how much demand there is, the prices go up. Personally, I just don't ever like to be like the most expensive person on the block. So I will always just see what the higher sold comps are and just price under those ones. That way I'm still competitive in that market, but I am still maximizing my profit on that item because it's such an in-demand item. You can also just price it at that common price point if you just would rather focus in on the speed of the sale versus maximizing your profit and the speed of the sale. But like I said, this is just what I do. This is one of those pivotal moments where sell-through rate can be heavily influenced. Like I was saying about the slow sell-through rate item that we would price drop down. If you look at those comps, chances are other buyers are overvaluing the item over what the buyers are actually saying they're willing to pay for that item. You might realize that the buyers are saying they're willing to pay $25, but your competition is saying they want $40, $50, $60, $100 for it. So this is why I like to basically check my homework by going on the flip side of what the actives are saying to see where I would be placed at numerically from low to high. Typically, you're going to find that you are one of the cheapest ones if you priced based off of the sold comps versus active. And that's what I mean by being like the next one out the door. So whenever a buyer comes around, I'm going to have what they want, and I'll also have one of the best prices on the market. And that's where that competitive edge comes from. So doing it this way ensures that you are pricing your items on point and what the market is saying they are willing to pay for it. It gives you that competitive edge against others. You're setting your items up for success because you're intentionally pricing it at value. And it gives you that confidence that you are doing it intentionally versus just guessing. And yes, I do this to most of my items because I'm a firm believer in utilizing sell-through rate for making sure I put in-demand items in my store. I also use it for pricing. So I understand that whenever we're working with, say, two Polo Ralph Lauren shorts, and this is a real life example that just happened. They're both pleated Polo Ralph Lauren shorts, they're vintage. They're both in style, they're both in demand. However, one size was on fire and the other one was pretty average. And if I would have price bucketed it or just kind of guessed or just priced them both the same, I could have either been left with money on the table or an item sitting around forever. So let's dive into this example. The Polo Ralph Lauren shorts that I had that were around size 36, 38, I had priced them much cheaper than I had priced the Polo Ralph Lauren shorts that were a size 31. So they're the same style, different sizes, but they both sold relatively quickly. The size 31 sold much faster because it had a much higher sell-through rate, but I was able to profit much more money off of it because I priced accordingly to its sell-through rate and that size specific. Whereas the other size that was a bit bigger, I priced it at what the market was for that size specifically. It still sold relatively quickly, not as fast as the 31, but I knew if I had priced it as I priced the size 31, that pair of shorts could have been sitting for years before it sold, simply because I just treated them both the same and I wasn't intentional with that pricing. So I got the best of both worlds. I was able to sell both of them quickly and maximize my profit on each one. You might be sitting here saying that you just don't have time to do this, and that's totally fine. You can do whatever you want. I'm just sharing what I'm doing and the success that I've had from doing it. And this is more so for the people who want to learn and set that time aside, who want to run their business with reason versus gut feelings and just guessing. And I personally would just rather spend an extra minute pricing it correctly versus potentially having my items sit on the market for many, many more months than it needed to and delay the money that comes in with it. So the goal isn't to just get the highest price, it is to get a nice blend of speed and profit. Because our inventory doesn't make us money sitting on the shelves, it makes us money when it sells. So now you know how I do it and you can start doing it today. I would highly encourage you to start implementing this pricing strategy with the items you already have, because it's the cheapest way to get faster sales versus just listing more. We're here for the results, not for shortcuts and cheap tricks. If you need help applying this or making sure that you're applying it correctly, feel free to join my group. It's full of people who are like-minded, all building and crafting their stores alongside with me to get the results they are wanting with faster sales and maximizing their profits. If you want to check it out, you can grab your free trial in the link below. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.